This next story is nothing short of a miracle. More than 30 years ago, Susan Marshall gave her son up for dead. It would turn out to be her only child. But she could never have imagined the turn of events that would literally bring him back to life. Suzanne Rico explains.
I wonder whether he could still be alive. I wonder whether he married, or I might even be a grandmother.
Susan Marshall thinks about her only son, Kerry, every day. She hasn't seen him since he was 4 years old, when she lost him in a bitter custody battle to his father. His dad, Dean Altman, then moved Kerry halfway across the country and told him his mother had abandoned him.
What was your life like at that time?
You lose part of your life. Your life is ruined.
But that forced separation wasn't nearly as painful as what happened next. In 1966, Susan's ex-husband, Dean Altman, sent a newspaper article to Susan's parents, saying her son had been hit by a bus. Just a few days later, he contacted them once again and told them Kerry was dead.
And you believed that?
I had no hope. We had no reason to not believe it.
Susan became suicidal, and it took years to rebuild her life. Then, in 1990, she remarried, this time to Colin Marshall. Still, each year around her son's birthday, Susan would fall into a deep depression. Colin saw her suffering and wondered, what if Kerry were alive? What if that article were a fake? So he hired a company called Find People Fast. Miraculously, after just 3 days, Colin had a name and an address.
I was 99.9% certain I had the right person, but I wouldn't say anything to Susan because if it had turned out the other way round, it would have been even more devastating.
So, in secret, Colin wrote Kerry this letter from his Southern California home.
You do not know me, although indirectly I feel I know you. My wife Susan of the past 10 years had a baby boy in August of 1958 on the 23rd, who was named Kerry Altman.
Colin's letter arrived at Kerry's home in Lone Jack, Missouri, where he lives with his wife Angela and their 3 kids.
I couldn't speak. You know, it was just too much for me. It was like the letter out of my dreams. You know.
That's because for years Kerry had been searching for his mom too. He even designed this webpage with old photos of them together, hoping his mom would see it. He had just about given up hope when Colin's letter arrived. Kerry immediately wrote back to Colin, confirming he was Susan's son. But before Kerry called his mom, Colin wanted to tell Susan the wonderful news.
He showed me the letter that he'd written to Kerry. And I said, you found him, haven't you? And he said, yes, as a matter of fact, he's waiting to hear your voice.
That night, Susan spoke to her son for the first time in 36 years. Soon, Kerry was on his way to Southern California for a reunion. Once a dream, now a testament to an unbroken bond between mother and son.
How are you?
Oh, now my life is complete.
Then, last week, Extra was there as Susan and Colin arrived in Missouri to meet for the first time their 3 beautiful grandchildren and daughter-in-law.
Hello.
As soon as you go, it's my gram. It's my gram.
Let me hold Karen again.
To the next 30 years.
I don't know where these tears are coming from. It's all I've done for weeks.
And the tears kept coming, especially when Kerry pulled out the baby book his mother had made.
Little Kerry, there he is. My hair was golden brown, my eyes were dark blue.
Both Kerry and Susan realized this second chance could never have happened without Colin.
So he was kind of a modern-day white knight.
He certainly is, in shining armor.
Now, both mother and son are basking in the joy of having each other back and just beginning to catch up on all the years they've missed together.
I've died and gone to heaven.
I fell in love with Kim. I really did. You know, from the moment I saw her, you know, it's like, wow, you know. I didn't think this would ever happen.
I think we're all crying here. Kerry says that he holds no grudge against his father, but he has not seen his dad in more than 5 years.